A man had just arrived at the military camp. He saw a soldier working out completely naked. Doss was shocked. On the other side, two men were throwing knives at each other. The officer suddenly appeared. One soldier got his foot pierced by a knife. The officer quickly pulled the knife out of the soldier's foot. He then ordered them to straighten up. Later, they all gathered at the training ground. When it was time to grab their guns, the officer noticed that only Doss didn't take one. He said he had sworn never to touch a gun. The officer responded, "How can you go to war and not carry a gun?" Doss was an extremely devout man. He had suffered from domestic abuse since childhood. He almost killed his abusive father with a gun once. Overcome with guilt, he vowed never to touch a gun again. But when war broke out, he still decided to enlist. He wanted to save more lives. But who could understand his vow? No matter what the officer ordered, he refused to pick up a gun. So the officer decided to take him to see the battalion commander. The captain decided to discharge him. But after a psychological evaluation, it was confirmed that Doss had no mental illness. He couldn't be discharged for psychiatric reasons. So the battalion commander ordered his men to drive him away by force. They were to bully him until he couldn't take it anymore and left. From then on, Doss was assigned the most grueling and difficult tasks. The new recruits also humiliated him constantly. They pressured him to fight back, making him break his vow. In the days that followed, the officer overturned his bed, and punished the entire squad because of him. One night, the squad violently beat Doss while he was sleeping. He was left covered in bruises. Even the soldiers who had bullied him couldn't bear to watch anymore. They wondered why he hadn't left yet. The next day, the officer conducted an inspection, and saw the bloodstains on Doss's pillow. He also saw Doss covered in wounds. The officer tried to convince him to leave. He said, "It's not good for anyone if you stay." But Doss sadly refused. The officer nodded. He asked Doss to name the person who had beaten him. Doss said he had fallen by accident. The officer was left speechless. The camp commander decided to send him to a military court. And he was locked in prison. Doss was furious. When his wife came to visit him, he tearfully told her that all he had done was refuse to carry a gun. Why did that make him a criminal? Later, in court, Doss's father suddenly arrived. He was wearing an old veteran's uniform. He handed a letter to the judge. The letter was personally written by a commander in Washington. It confirmed Doss's right to refuse to use a weapon. Soon after, Doss was acquitted. His military status was reinstated. Doss then became a medic who didn't carry a gun. Not long after, the war began. They arrived on the battlefield. The squad was tasked with capturing a place called Hacksaw Ridge. But it was an incredibly dangerous place. The US forces had attempted to take it 6 times, but failed every time. Vehicles were piled high with bodies. Hacksaw Ridge was a steep cliff. The soldiers had to climb up with rope ladders. It would be a brutal battle.